Hello, my name is Rebecca Kerr. I'm very privileged today to join you with some messages on the International Day of Women's Rights. Thank you, Gila, for the invitation to speak with you, and I'm very sorry that we were unable to do this live together. I'm a retired senior executive from IBM. I was privileged to live and work all over the world as a program leader with strategic customers implementing digital transformation programs. Today, I'm speaking to you from the heart of the Skagit Valley in Washington State in the US, and that's in the upper Northwest, Pacific Northwest corner. I'm speaking to you directly without the privilege of a one-to-one conversation with Gila, your conference organizer, because of the weather and the lack of infrastructure to support the necessary internet speed and reliability for a Zoom discussion. I imagine many of you have experienced this problem. Behind me, you see a beautiful vision of the coming spring. But what you don't see is wire, cables, towers, and infrastructure. I am in a broadband desert, and that is why Gila and I were unable to successfully record our conversation for this event. For the last several days, we have had high windstorms called the Arctic Express, deep freezing temperatures, and lots of snow accumulating in the mountains. Many people have been without power for days. My internet service here is dependent on two possible sources. One is I have a microwave dish facing the mountains to connect with the microwave dish there, and the other is a satellite receiver to speak with satellites going across the sky. Both technologies are sensitive to weather, wind, and do much better in clear skies. Last, the fact of life is they're very expensive. In 2023, in this rural area, we still do not have cost-effective high-speed internet service available to anyone. And what we do have is simply sometimes unreliable. In a super connected world, technology is wonderful when it works. But millions of women around the world living in small towns, rural areas, villages, or even in impoverished urban locations have a very similar problem to what I have, and they do not have the same internet service that others have. Fixing this problem is very similar to what was done in the electrification era when electricity became available in the last century. That said, there are still many rural locations across the world living without reliable electricity, much less broadband high-speed internet service. We are still in the process of removing the power divide, and then the digital divide in many countries. Here in the Skagit Valley, you find family farms for generations, almost 2 centuries, supplying food and seed products to the world. From the first commercial crop of cultivated potatoes in 1853, the Skagit Delta has been supplying the region, state, and world with nearly every crop imaginable. Today, the valley produces almost 95% of the US table beet seed and 50% of the world's supply, 75% of US spinach seed, and 25% of global cabbage seed stocks, and more tulip, daffodil, and iris bulbs than any other US county. With all this beauty, and I imagine you also live in some beautiful areas, we're still in a broadband desert. So let me answer the questions that I was given by Gila to do this recording for you, to say hello and share my thoughts. Why is Women's Rights Day important for me? Number one, there's not enough progress. There remains persistent discrimination against women for services, healthcare, leadership roles, childcare, elder care, access to financial services, access to education and technical training, to name just a few things that women are not allowed the same access to. We learned during the pandemic how quickly the progress we have made in equality can be erased by the unpaid roles women had to pick up during the lockdowns and when businesses were required to close. Who did the school lessons? Who did the babysitting? Who did the cleaning? Who did the shopping? Who took care of all of the family needs? In most cases, it was women, and it was women who had to leave their other roles. And if you don't have broadband, internet in your home, then you couldn't work from home the same as other people were able to do. Second question, in my professional life, how do I defend human rights? First, I believe you have to be a role model. I have lived and worked as an expat in different cultures where large numbers of women executives simply did not exist. My behavior and my presence was evaluated by both men and women. It was essential for me to show respect and interest in the countries I was living in and to represent the United States in a humble way and live the beliefs I have in democracy and human rights. Now, why do I think women should have a part in peace education? Well, simply to save the world. Research has shown that when women are included and have access to basic health care, financial services, education, reproductive health care, and safe health care, they elevate the standards of their families and their communities. They bring cleaner energies into the home. They ensure payments for education occur so children are educated. They also contribute to safer societies and increase the odds for peace. There is overwhelming quantitative evidence that women's empowerment and gender equality are associated with peace and stability in society. And what advice would I have for new generations? I would advise the following. First, treasure education and be a lifelong learner. Build agile and adaptable skill sets so you can learn how to adapt, change, modify, and elevate your skill set every year of your life. Build a network of people who know you, who believe in you, and can mentor or sponsor you along the way. Cultivate and take care of that network throughout your life as one of the most valuable tools you will have for socialization, employment, inspiration, collaboration, and elevation of the human condition. Your network is your gold. Use social media for purpose and remember to find time to look into the eyes of your family and friends and let them see the sparkle of your ideas, your purpose, and your hope. I would like to thank Gila for the opportunity to speak my thoughts on these important questions. And I look forward to an in-person opportunity to see you and appreciate you soon. For now, I wish you good health, good ideas, and a peaceful future for all men and women on our earth.